Enroll with us today and take a certificate or diploma course. Visit our campuses in Juja, Nairobi West, Kisumu and Homa Bay and get your career going.
The future is hands-on, and Sensei College is at the front line of technical institutes in Kenya, offering practical and skill-based courses accredited by all concerned bodies, TVETA, NTSA and NITA. Sensei College offers driving and plant operator, cosmetology, fashion and design, mechanics, hydroponics and irrigation, installation, building construction, hospitality, photography and video production, electrical and electronics repairs, and ICT courses. Get free plant operator training when you enroll for plant mechanics, free driving when you enroll for motor vehicle mechanics, and free riding when you enroll for motorcycle mechanics. The requirement is an ID only, with intakes every first week of the month. We have 2 campuses in Nakuru and Nairobi. We provide meals and accommodation. Sensei College. My skills, my future.
From the 4th to 6th of September 2023, Kenya will host a climate summit like no other, the Africa Climate Summit, an ambitious call for collective climate action at scale convened by the African Union. Wondering what sets this summit apart? The Africa Climate Summit moves away from the blame game in tackling the urgent climate crisis, rethinks global climate finance structures, unites Africa with the rest of the world to drive climate-positive growth, increase investments and maximize opportunities for climate solutions. The summit leverages the continent's immense human and natural capital for global decarbonization.
As Africa, we are committed to bringing everyone on board in order to make every voice to be heard.
Africa Climate Summit, driving green growth and climate finance solutions for Africa and the world.
Nataka ukue masikio yangu na macho yangu.
Nitakuwa baka mapua yako. Hili kwa sababu tunajua miezi ya mvua waja tuandike sweke tempa.
Seka tamba hiyo sichawahi sikia kwa galenda.
Enda ukae na huyo Regina wako.
You are one of our impressive workers.
Unaenda wapi la rudi hapa?
Isn't this the kind of tea you serve to your manager? Hakuna thamos kwa hiyo hoteli.
Mtu anafaa kutengiswa huku ndio aweze kukuwa na long life.
Nikielele gani inaendelea huko mbele?
Wewe kwa mama gayae?
Ataenda.
Good evening and welcome to Sunday Express. Indeed, we have details of what has been happening across the country today. It appears like it was not a very good night for Ferdinand Manyara, and of course finishing last in the 100 meters final sounds such a disappointment on his career, but there's still next time.
There's still next time, and now what we need to focus on is the Olympics that is upcoming. And I think in sportsmanship, there's winning and there's losing. I think we need to cut him some slack.
Absolutely. But of course, Kenya has recorded some wins. We'll be telling you about them a little bit later. Here are tonight's highlights.
Wanafaa kuendesha kazi yao ya upinzani kulingana na katiba na sheria, ya kuchunguza mambo ya serikali, provide oversight.
Violence is not the answer. President William Ruto tells opposition to conduct its oversight role within the law. Celebration turns to tragedy. Survivors of the Ruiru wedding tragedy where 6 people died after septic tank caved in narrate the ordeal. And the future of medicine. Tonight, we feature the rise of telemedicine and its future in the provision of healthcare services. Byron Abuli is a sign language interpreter. My name is John Jacob Kioria. Welcome to the broadcast.
And I am Regina Manyara.
In a bit, we'll be telling you about the president's visit to Kisii. But a section of leaders from Nyanza region have taken a swipe at Azimio allied leaders, accusing them of insincerity in opposing the government.
The leaders are urging the region to support the government to enhance development, and Wycliffe Okech has the details of the political brew that is on course in the region.
The Cabinet Secretary of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy, Eliud Owalo, was in Nyando, Kisumu County. The CS was attending a church service accompanied by several leaders from the region who have since pledged to work with the government for development of the region. Owalo noted that the Kenya Kwanza administration was committed to revitalizing the region's economic growth. He, however, cautioned the region's politics was a stumbling block.
This Kenya Kwanza government has got a tangible development agenda for this region. And that is the discussion that we want to have with government. How to revitalize the economy of this region for benefit of the common mwananchi.
The CS said that the government had initiated numerous development projects in the region, calling on leaders to champion for progressive leadership.
As we speak, the government has already put in 3 billion shillings for Kabonyo Fishing Institute, where we can train our fishermen so that they can learn modern techniques of fishing.
Other leaders who attended the church service took a swipe at those in the opposition, accusing them of being insincere.
We needed the president and we wanted it and we voted. It's only that our numbers didn't add up to the numbers that could beat our main competitor. So we lost. But we lost when we were so clear in our minds that we were going for the presidency.
Opposition was not born for lose. We were also born to enjoy the fruits of the Republic of Kenya.
We want to change the paradigm in this region so that under this term of President William Ruto, we have tangible economic development for the benefit of the people of this region.
This challenged those in the position to rethink the region's political strategy for universal economic prosperity. For the Sunday Express, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Apologies for that. We were just checking if that story that we had been highlighting for you, rather wanted to highlight for you, on where the president was, and that is in Kisumu, and what he had for us.
In the meantime, the talks between Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya and Kenya Kwanza coalitions are set to resume on Monday. The two sides are set to agree on the agenda of the meeting, given that the two political teams have different sets of issues they believe are critical in the bipartisan talks.
However, as Abdiaziz Hashim reports, some members of the dialogue team have continued to drum up support for the agenda ahead of the resumed dialogue at the Bomas of Kenya.
For a third time, the two leading political factions in the country are set to reconvene at the Bomas of Kenya once more to settle their political differences in the renewed bipartisan talks. The dialogue team, co-chaired by Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka of Azimio and his Kenya Kwanza counterpart, Majority Leader in the National Assembly Kimani Ichung'wah, are set to reveal the agenda of the talks after the technical committee from both coalitions were tasked with harmonizing the issues raised by both parties. However, Malindi Member of Parliament Amina Mnyazi, who is a member of the newly formed dialogue team, stated that the issues they will want to converse with their counterparts are the cost of living, an audit of last year's elections, inclusivity in the national affairs, and respect for political parties.
Na umuhimu wa kufanya jambo hili ni kuhakikisha kwamba yale mazungumzo na zile suluhisho ambazo zinatoka ama zinazungumzwa katika lile jopo yasiwe ni mazungumzo peke yake. Yawe ni mazungumzo ambayo yako na uzito, na uzito ni kwamba lazima lile jopo litambulike. Likishatambulika sasa ndio yale ambayo yatakuwa yameongelewa kule, tutakuwa tuko na mandate, tuko na nguvu sasa ya kuweza kutekeleza mambo kadhaa.
This is despite the ruling Kenya Kwanza team vowing to ensure that those issues will not be a subject of discussion.
Sisi kama viongozi wa kutoka kwa Azimio tumekwenda katika mazungumzo na mikono misafi na roho safi, na niko na imani pia wale wenzetu waki-extend the same, basi tunaweza kusaidiana kwa mambo mengi.
Meanwhile, a section of Okambani leaders led by Parliamentary Service Commission member Johnson Muthama has maintained it is high time the country moved forward and leaders to cool down the political temperatures.
Serikali inafanya uchunguzi na serikali inafanya kazi ya kulinda maisha ya raia wake, na jambo lolote iwe ni chama, iwe ni kanisa, iwe ni nini ambayo inaweza kuhatarisha maisha ya wananchi wa Kenya, lazima serikali kuchukua hatua.
Our President William Ruto and our Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga to sit together and talk and make peace in our country.
The dialogue team, after being formally legalized, has 60 days to present a report before President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Amolo Odinga over their resolution, and also table it in Parliament for consideration and adoption. Abdiaziz Hashim for Sunday Express.
And Monday it is. Now, survivors of the Saturday morning Ruiru wedding tragedy where 6 people drowned in an underground water tank after it caved in have narrated their ordeal.
One of the survivors was Dan Maura, the designated master of ceremony at Charles Moria and Susan Wanjera's wedding. The survivors were part of a team that had arrived at the bride's home to pick her up for the much-anticipated wedding before the tragedy struck.
What started as a day of jubilation turned tragic within a flash of a second. Charles Moria and Susan Wanjera from Fort Jesus in Ruiru, Kiambu County had envisioned their big day to be seamless, but this would not be the case. As a group of women that had gone to pick the bride was singing and dancing, this underground water tank they were on caved in, claiming 6 lives out of the 17 who fell in.
17 of them were stepping on that, the top cover of the bowl, and unfortunately it collapsed due to the weight.
Tukasikia nyimbo, tukasikia mara moja watu wakitoka wakiwa wanapiga kelele. Tukauliza ni nini? Wakatuambia watu wameshaanguka kwa shimo.
Venye tulifika pale tukajaribu kuokoa, maji ikakuwa mingi, tukaanza kuchota na ndoo, tukapunguza mpaka venye ilipungua, nikashuka ndani. Nilitoa mama mmoja kama amekufa na mtoto.
Those who died include 5 women and a child. Survivors of the ordeal include Duncan Mwaura, who was the master of ceremony. He recounts that the bride was ready and set for the big day and escaped death by a whisker.
Na hata maids ama flower girls walikuwa washaanza kutoka, lakini wakati tu anataka kutoka kwa mlango ndiposa hiyo kisanga ilifanyika, kwa sababu hata yeye alikuwa apande kwa jukwaa ama apande hapo juu, kwa sababu hapo kulikuwa kama ni platform, lakini baadaye shimo ikaboromoka.
The MC revealed that he managed to get out of the tank after ropes were thrown inside by the rescuers. Lucky to be alive, Maura had to look for an alternative outfit to finish his job as an MC at the wedding that later happened.
Nilikuwa nimevaa suti kulingana na theme ama kala ya harusi kwa sababu hiyo ndo najipanganga, lakini baadaye nilijipata ya kwamba nguo zangu zimelaluka na baadaye nilitoka pale nikiwa majimaji, so sikuweza kuhudhuria harusi ama kuendelea na harusi nikiwa na zale mavazi, lakini nashukuru marafiki na watu wetu kwa sababu walikuja na wakaniweza kunivalisha mavazi mengine na diposa niko smart wakati huu.
Joshua Kinywa, the days man behind the camera, lost his filming equipment.
Ilizama na tukajikuta tuko kwa shimo ndani na tukataabika sana kutoka kwa hiyo shimo, lakini tunashukuru Mungu ni kwa sababu alitubakisia uhai. Kamera zangu zikamalizika zote, zimu yangu ikaisha.
I'm promising that I know the county government will be able to take care of this, and those of us also that are also in the National Assembly and members who are elected in this county will be able to stand with people in this tragedy.
Nancy Okware, Sunday Express.
I'm just asking, Kioria, if that was a ceremony where you were, what would you have done if you were the
Being what, the groom?
If you were the groom.
That wedding would not happen.
Well, me too.
Anyway, it's a really tragic story, and
it is.
For the new couple, we wish them all the best. I mean, that's a tragic start to your union, but then again, God knows best, right?
Very scary, actually.
Okay, let's stick to matters weddings. And 2 Kenya Broadcasting Corporation staff tied the knot into separate wedding ceremonies, which were graced by KBC staff.
Festus Amimo, head of Mayenga FM radio station, walked down the aisle with the love of his life, Roslyn Acheng, while Grapevine show producer Bernard Timber tied the knot with his fiancée, Maureen.
John Kahero gives us a taste of the 2 elegant wedding ceremonies.
St. Andrew's Edelval Catholic Church in Nairobi's Embakasi area. Roslyn Acheng made her grand entrance, a vision in her bespoke gown that seemed to flow like liquid moonlight. As she walked down the aisle, her radiant smile captured the hearts of all in attendance. Festus, the groom, waiting at the altar, stood tall in his tuxedo, his eyes shimmering with a mixture of excitement and profound emotion. First, a holy Eucharistic Mass celebration, then came the most memorable moment for the couple, taking of vows and rings.
Take this ring as a sign of my love and fidelity.
The Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
The ceremony, which was graced by KBC Managing Director Samuel Maina, was not only a celebration of love, but also a sign of commitment for the couple.
I thank everyone, my parents, our parents, my friends and relatives who have turned up for this wonderful day.
Love you, to cherish you, and to pray for you every day so that the light of God may shine upon you each and every day of your life.
Congratulations for taking this bold step, and I wish them a loving marriage.
Congratulations, Rosie and Festus. A similar history was written at Salvation Army Church in Nairobi. Bernard Timbe, a KBC Channel 1 TV producer, and his love of life, Maureen, tied the knot in a radiant wedding that left hearts aglow.
Uwe wangu katika sheria, na msaidizi wangu katika maisha. Kuchukua tangu siku ya leo.
The KBC staff members showcased their hidden talent on the dance floor, letting loose and celebrating the couple's union with infectious energy. The event was a true testament to the family-like atmosphere at KBC Channel 1, a workplace that fosters not only professional growth, but also genuine connections. And indeed, from the KBC fraternity, congratulations Maureen and Bernard. John Kahiro, Channel 1 News in Nairobi.
Baby, tunajua siku yetu leo.
Yeah.
Love is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And we congratulate Festus and Timbe. And of course, that means the KBC family continues to grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to a top story tonight. President William Ruto has called on leaders to focus on service delivery to the electorate and shun divisive politics.
The president said that after elections, it was only fair that leaders delivered on their promises made during the electioneering period.
He at the same time called on the opposition to play its role in accordance with the constitution.
The president spoke when he attended an interdenominational Thanksgiving prayer at Nyangaturango Stadium in Kisii.
President William Ruto joined leaders drawn from across the political divide in Gusii land for an interdenominational Thanksgiving prayers at the Nyanturago Stadium in Kisii County. The president making a rallying call to leaders to focus more on service delivery to the electorate and shun political shenanigans.
Mimi kama rais wa Kenya nitaungana na hawa ndugu zangu. Viongozi wote tushikamane na tufanye kazi kwa manufaa ya wale wote waliojitolea na kutupa nafasi ya uongozi. We are going to work together as leaders.
Your Excellency, you are the President of the Republic of Kenya, ambao ulipewa kisu. Sisi hata kama tunapiga kelele to distract you, if you get distracted, we will blame your regime. It's up to you to see what best mechanism you will put in place to bring us together. Hata kama tunatembea hapa ODM, UDA pande hii, tunaenda mbele, tunajenga taifa.
The president said each leader, be it opposition or government, had specific functions to execute.
You can count on me 100% as you plan the development and the progress of this county as we do it for the rest of the Republic of Kenya.
Nataka nikwambie rais, wewe kwa sababu kila mtu anakupea heko kwa sababu ya Ukristo wako, nataka nikuombe, kando na kwamba kuna baba anaongoza maandamano na sisi tunafuata yeye, wewe kama kiongozi wa nchi, tafadhali ita mzee, kana yeye. Sisi hatutaki nusu mkate, tunataka wewe ukule hii mkate mkubwa na ukatie kila moja, kate moja Kisii, moja Ujaluoni, moja kipande moja, nchi yote ifurahie.
Na ndio ningemuuliza kwa heshima gavana, sababu former prime minister ndiye kiongozi wako, pia mwambie akubali alishindwa, sababu akikubali hata kuwa na nafasi ya kuwazomea mabalozi wa nchi marafiki wetu wakisema ukweli ule ukweli tu unasema hapa.
The president reiterated his commitment to fight corruption both at the county and national level. The president maintained that his government will continue to invest more in food production by availing affordable inputs to farmers.
Gharama ya maisha inaanza na gharama ya chakula. Na ndio sababu dawa ya gharama ya maisha ni kupunguza kwanza gharama ya chakula. Na kupunguza gharama ya chakula sio kwenda kupatiana pesa ya subsidy kwa Mila. Mila hana chakula. Mila ni mtu ya kusiaga. Mwenye chakula kutengeneza ni mkulima.
Achola Simon, Sunday Express, Kisii.
All right, time for us to take our first breather on Sunday Express. But of course, there's more lined up in the bulletin, Regina.
Including a conversation on how medical camps are aiding the underserved to get that much needed health service. Do keep it right here.
Mm-hmm.
Cheza Loto Moto. Sasa unaweza jishindia instantly na Loto Moto. Dial star 570 hash. Wakati wowote, siku yoyote ya wiki na mahali popote. Dial star 570 hash. Kisha chagua moja kati ya games za Loto Moto. Weka stake zako 50 shillings, 300, 500, 2,000 shillings. The bigger your stake, the greater or the bigger your prizes. Cheza mara kadhaa na kumbuka, cheza responsibly. 18 years and above.
Cheza Loto Moto.
The inaugural Africa Climate Summit hosted by the African Union and the Government of Kenya will be held at KICC in Nairobi. The summit will bring together leaders from Africa and beyond to address the growing challenge of climate change and explore opportunities presented by collective climate action globally and in Africa. The summit will take place from the 4th to 6th of September at KICC and will be presided over by His Excellency the President Dr. William Ruto. This event will be live on KBC Channel 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed delegates, honored guests, welcome to the 8th Africa and Indian Ocean Aviation Week in this beautiful land of Kenya. On behalf of the Government of Kenya, the Ministry of Roads and Transport, the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority as the host Civil Aviation Authority, it gives me great pleasure and pride to extend a warm welcome to all of you. As we embark on this journey, I extend my deepest gratitude to the organizers, sponsors, and partners who have made this event possible.
The Ma community. Undoubtedly Kenya's richest in culture. The Ma people predominantly occupy 4 counties: Kajiado, Narok, Samburu, and Laikipia. The Ma Cultural Week. 21st to 24th August at Maasai Mara National Reserve in Narok. This event will be presided over by His Excellency President William Ruto. The event will be live on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back. You're watching Sunday Express. The national government has been lauded for its support in the growth of the real estate sector.
Hodari Homes Chief Executive Officer Musa Gatherina in particular cited the digitization of land records, which has said to be effective in developing the sector.
This and other stories in the County News Roundup.
Speaking when he issued over 1,000 title deeds to Kenyans in the diaspora who have invested locally, Gatherina at the same time called upon the youth to invest in the real estate industry.
Tumeweza kupatiana 1,000 title deeds kutoka Rumuruti na zingine kutoka upande wa Matu. Kwa wale wako pale, mimi ningependa kuambia kuwekeza kwa mashamba kuna kuwaga na faida sana.
These, as a section of human rights crusaders, urge the government to assure investors of their security. The group took issue with the recent incident in which suspected goons raided Megvel Cartoons Company in Athi River and destroyed property worth millions of shillings, rendering over 700 workers jobless.
Wakati ambao tunazungumzia kuhusu haki ya kila mtu ambaye ananyanyaswa ili aweze kupata haki yake.
And a section of civil societies and a civil society reference group has faulted the discussion that dominated the devolution conference in Eldoret, saying it turned out to be a political gathering.
We want to raise reservation 1 because these devolution conferences have become like political spaces for various leaders to go and play politics and address rallies. And you find that the issues that are actually affecting devolution are put behind the banner.
Elsewhere, as the country continues to grapple with the abuse of drug scourge, youths across the country have been urged to shun the vice and instead endeavor to utilize their talents to better their lives.
Na kusudi na maana kuwa hapa ni kuandaa mawazo ya watoto wetu vijana ambao ni wanaifu, ili mawazo yao irudi pamoja na sana sana wamrudie Mwenyezi Mungu, ili tuwakinge na mambo ambayo yanatendeka ya kufanya watoto wetu wajiingize katika janga la wakati wa madawa za kulevya, wengine kuuana, ndoa za haraka.
Meanwhile, victims of Saturday's road accident continue to receive treatment in various hospitals in Makueni County. The accident that involved a minibus heading to Nairobi from Kitui along the Kibwezi-Kitui highway left 4 people dead and others with injuries.
Tulifika Siembe, driver ndiye alikuja akaniambia yeye anasikia kitu kama usingizi. After hapo ndio niliona hiyo gari ikaanza kaacha route ni njia. Na hapo kwa wakati wa kuicontrol ikamshinda, ndio gari ikaanguka. Mimi nilikuwa nimekaa hapo mbele na yeye.
In the meantime, the Kenya National Union of Teachers now says matters of security cannot be compromised and that teachers working in Northeastern region must be accorded enough security in order to go about discharging their duties.
The government sincerely wants to support our education here of this region. We want the government to put more police officers, more security in this region so that our teachers feel secure.
Finally, inmates at the Isiolo GK prison are said to benefit from goodies donated by Star of Hope Association, an ungovernmental organization. The donations are intended to better their lives as they serve their sentence behind bars.
Tutafanya ile tunaita free medical camp ili wafungwa wote ambao pengine wana shida mbalimbali waweze kuhudumiwa kimatibabu.
Ufadhili kama huu itakuwa ikisaidia sana kwa sababu vile mnavyojua ni wale ambao wamewekwa ndani ya gereza, ni wale ambao hawajiwezi katika jamii.
Opicha Chemtai for Sunday Express.
Now, a family in Kiambu County is appealing to well-wishers to help them clear pending medical bills of their deceased son, Joachim Wainaina.
The medical bills, which currently stand at over 2 million shillings, has hindered the family from burying their son, who passed away 2 months ago.
Their weary faces tell the tale of the family struggles to bury their kin more than 60 days after he took his last breath. The late Joachim Wainaina, who was born disabled, spent most of his life in and out of hospital as his family desperately tried to get him the necessary medical care to keep him comfortable. His father, Francis Mwangi, narrates how his son, who was born in 1990, spent nearly 2 years of his life at Kenyatta National Hospital between 1992 and 1994. He was later discharged to continue receiving home-based care.
Tukahamisha yeye mpaka Kenyatta National Hospital. Hiyo ni miaka ya 1992. 93, 94. Ikawa anaendelea na matibabu na baada hayo nikafika kiango ya kwenda kliniki.
Kila siku naendelea mimi naenda kuwauliza muna mtibu aje na hii tubu tangu tukuje hatujaona mabadiliko.
He would later pass on owing to complications from his illness. His family, who spent most of their funds to keep him alive, barely have enough left to accord him a decent burial. His body continues to accumulate mortuary charges with a pending medical bill of 2 million shillings.
Wakati huo tukaanza hata kwenda kukopa pesa kwa bank. Ile pesa kidogo napata kwa kazi nilikuwa nikifanya ya kibarua, inasaidia kwenda kulipa hiyo mabanki. Nikaenda tena nikauza shamba ya 3. Hayo pesa yote ilikuwa matumizi na kununua madawa.
Wanatudai milioni 2 na 200 na hatujaweza kutoa. Tunaomba usaidizi kuote hapa kwa serikali, tusaidiwe.
To assist the family, donation can be channeled through paybill number 247247, account number 333744, Joachim Medical Bill, Equity Bank. For Sunday Express, I am Teresa Mutai.
That's a very, very sad story. To imagine that they have even depleted their own resources just for the treatment of this gentleman, and then again, they just can't have closure.
So they have lost the son, and they know they cannot bury the son because of an accumulating bill every day that this hospital detains that body there.
It's actually a double tragedy. They have lost their son and property.
And property.
And now they can't be able to,
get closure.
But I think the hospital can just be diligent, enter into an agreement of payment probably with the family, and then release the body for burial, to provide closure.
But I like what you said, Kioria. We had this conversation in Parliament some years back.
Yeah.
Such issues now need to be grounded in law.
They need to be grounded in law, not just to elicit emotional reactions in Parliament. It needs to be grounded in law. Well, let's switch gears. It's time for sports. Bernard Okumu is on the other end of studio. Bernard Okumu, over to you.
Thank you so much, Regina and John Jacob Kioria. Time for sports. Bernard Okumu, and we begin in Budapest, where Daniel Simiyu Ebenyo won Kenya the first medal at the World Athletics Championships in Budapest, Hungary, after finishing second in the 10,000 meters men's final. Ferdinand Manyara, however, finished seventh in the 100 meters men's final, won by Noah Lyles of the United States.
Daniel Ebenyo clocked 27 minutes 52.60 seconds to take silver behind Joshua Cheptegei of Uganda, who won gold in the 10,000 meters final. Solomon Barego of Ethiopia won the bronze. Bernard Kibet and Nicholas Kipkorir finished in 5th and 8th positions respectively.
The Ethiopians tried everything, but they couldn't stop him. The silverback delivers again for Uganda. A third consecutive gold. There's the chest bumps. There's the realization. The pride of Africa. Set.
Ferdinand Omanyala's wait for a world medal continues after he finished 7th in the 100 meters final, won by Noah Lyles of the United States.
It's very, very tight. It's Noah Lyles. The champion roars once more. Tobogo ran really well on the far side, but it's Noah Lyles who has delivered on his promise. A great, great run from Coleman, but he's not quite the man he used to be. Noah Lyles promised us gold, and he's delivered. He has roared with the heart of the greatest. It's one.
Nelly Chepchirchir and defending champion Faith Kipyegon qualified for the final of the women 1500 meters after they won their respective semi-final races this evening and will both line up in Tuesday's final.
It was good. We are going on really, really good, and we thank God. We started hits yesterday, and today we were in semi-final, and we thank God we have managed to qualify to the final on Tuesday, and we hope for the best.
Abel Kipsang and Reynold Kipkorir also qualified for the men 1500 meters final to be held on Wednesday after the two finished among the 6 best athletes in the 2 semi-final races held earlier this evening.
Idwan nilipika nika control juu nilikuwa najua nisipo control hiyo kitu siwezi wapata. Sasa nilikuwa naomba niingie hii semis nipate tu tiketi ya kwenda finali, lakini nashukuru nimepata.
The day started off with Emily Ngi missing out on a medal in the women 20-kilometer race walk final, finishing 18th overall. Ngi recorded a season best time of 1 hour 31 minutes and 01 seconds to finish behind 17 athletes in the event won by Maria Perez of Spain.
Germany. She becomes world champion in Budapest, Hungary, in spectacular style, and she looks like she could go round again.
Tough day for Manyara, but remember the championship enters day 3 tomorrow with the 400 meters hurdles and men's final with Kenyan hopes lying with Wiseman Were. Now on to soccer, where Spain captain Olga Carmona scored the winning goal to help Spain win their first FIFA Women World Cup after beating England 1-0 in a dramatic match at Stadium Australia. England looking to become the first England senior side since the men's team in 1966 to win the World Cup were outplayed by a Spanish side full of flair and creativity.
Elected Premium by Ella 2.